Good evening. My name is Brandon Paz, and this is my final exam speech for SPC 2608.BM1. Today is August 14th, 2015. I want to start off by saying the person who had the most improvement through the course of this class. I would have to say that was Earl Autry. He performed very well throughout his last two speeches. He actually used diagrams to point out statistics within his speech. He also stands up now when he gives a speech, and he does not speak softly. In his first speech, I believe he had his arm across his face, he would speak down to the camera, and he wouldn't look at the camera as well. He also was sitting down. He projects his voice now throughout his speech, throughout the audience. I've also noticed that he does not wing his speeches like in his introduction speech. He polishes his speech, and he barely looks at his note cards when performing. He gives a quick glance at them, and then he continues with his speech, giving eye contact to everybody, and also projecting his voice as well. Something he did not do in his introduction speech. The best research speech would have to go to Ashley Burns. She consistently gave cold hard facts that would open eyes and drop jaws. She constantly would also cite her research as well, which bring reality to the facts that she would give. I also watched her point of fact speech she gave to Cole Studstill. Although I don't agree with the way she interprets her research, she still does tons of research, grabs from tons of websites and other sources, and brings it right to the table. She's a very good example of how to research a speech and persuade someone with the facts you bring. I like the way she would give her speech because, like I said, it was the best research speech. It was the one that was most persuasive, I would like to say as well. The best style this semester would have to go to Gabrielle Gaudier. I would love the way she would just sit down, put a camera down, and just start speaking. She would never once use an outline, and it's not like she winged it or anything. She actually studied her material and remembered everything and said it by heart. She was one of the most polished speeches as well. She gave a good example of how a public speaker should speak, or should look as well. She also used appropriate hand gestures, and also this was very unique, not only giving eye contact to the camera, but to her audience as well. It was very unique, and it's something I like to mimic within my speech. I like her pace in her speech as well. It's a fast enough pace for us not to get bored and tired, but slow enough for us to actually pick up everything. I learned a lot from her because she, like I said, gave a good example of how a public speaker should look. Since taking public speaking, I have learned to be more involved in current events today. I'm actually now a daily user of DrudgeReport.com, which is one of the biggest news reporting websites today. I realized how important some of these current event topics are in our modern day life. It brought reality to me when public speaking required for us to inform ourselves and persuade others about our topic. It helped me want to inform myself because I didn't want to sound very unknowledgeable when persuading someone. I wanted to know my topic, research it, and I've also learned a lot from that as well. As far as the performance part goes, I have learned to use hand gestures effectively and speak to the audience and not just a piece of paper. My first speech, I believe I grabbed a paper in my introduction speech, and I just consistently kept looking down at it and reading it line for line. I've learned now to just jot down quick notes to help me remember how my speech is supposed to be. I would have to say that giving constructive criticism as well also helped me criticize myself like that. I would watch other people's speeches and see their flaws and my flaws, and I would learn that that's not the way you're supposed to do it. And by criticizing them, it helped me criticize myself, because not everybody wants to, criticize themselves until they actually see themselves in somebody else. To better persuade my audience, I would say I should have possibly given more facts. I learned that because when I watch other speeches, I realize the only thing that persuades really is facts. You don't really get persuaded off emotion or feeling bad for someone. I could have executed my speeches better by studying them more. I didn't feel like I remembered them as much, and I would have loved just to, like I said, like Gabrielle Gaudier, to just stand there and just flow naturally. The only thing I would say I had a problem with is trying to find the group of audience to give my speech to. It was hard to collaborate with everybody and correlate our schedule and their schedule because everybody had conflicting schedules. I guess that's why they took online public speaking, because they just don't have time for class on campus. I ended up borrowing some of Santa Fe's library workers both of my speeches. Other than that, there were no problems. I enjoyed this class a lot. It helped me very, very much, and I feel like I could lead a team now with my public speaking skills. I also feel more confident when giving a speech as well. Thank you.